What's going on, everyone? Today we're going to get out there and we're going to catch anything that bites. I'm going to be throwing around crappie jigs on ultralight tackle, trying to catch whatever's out there willing to eat it. Now I'm going to be using a slip bobber. I'm going to be casting. I'm going to be trolling these crappie jigs. The lake I'm fishing in is about 30 feet deep at its deepest point, anywhere from 10 to 15 feet around the edges, and then it gets super shallow and closer to the shore. I'm going to be fishing that middle ground with these crappie jigs. I'm excited to get out there today, guys. Let's get out there and catch them. Alrighty, folks. Today we have the double jig rig. This involves 2 jigs tied with loop knots. On each jig, I am loading them up with the one and only, the crappie magnet. And I'm putting those magnets on right through the middle, all the way down, so it looks just like a minnow. And I'm going to have those magnets under a slip bobber. I'm rolling with a 7'2" medium light rod, and my slip bobber set to about 5 to 7 feet deep, depending on where I'm at in the water. My goal is to throw these out, twitch it, let it just sit there, float, let the current do the work for me. And I'm going to put them out there, put them in the high probability places where the fish could be. So we're going to get out there. We're going to catch them fish. They're not going to stand a chance today. So right here, folks, I'm in about 7 feet of water that's open. And then it's about 10 feet deep, and there's thick vegetation off the bottom. That vegetation is going up to 3 feet off the bottom. So I know those fish are going to be either on top of that, or they're going to be in it looking for bait. So I want my jigs to sit just above that level, in the strike zone, where they can see it. And as you can see here, I'm letting it sit. I'm letting the fish see it and think that it's vulnerable. Just kind of giving it a little twitch here and there. Just twitching it to the side over and over. Just keeping a little, just frail movement through the water so that the fish can have an eyeball on it and they can try to eat it. So the goal here with the slip bobber is to work really, really slow. Keep an eye on that bobber. Sometimes they bite it up and the bobber just kind of falls down sideways. Sometimes they bite it and go down. It goes right under, but you got to keep an eye on that bobber. It's so important. Also, I want to point out that beautiful skyline, folks. Just amazing. Just an amazing, beautiful pink sky. Bright and early in the morning. Stay up, lady. That's good, Margie. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, look at that guy. It's a big boy. Man, those crappie magnets, they work so good. Little tiny crappie magnet, big fish. I guess. So the sun started to come up, and it's such a beautiful sight. I wanted to include that. Just out here enjoying nature. When you're fishing, you got to do it. So right now the bite was a little tough. Caught that nice bass. Sun came up pretty quick. Got a little bright. So I decided to throw a Beetle spin on with a crappie magnet on the jig head. And I was having a little bit of a tough time, so I decided I'm going to start to troll as I move to my next spot. So I tossed it out there and I started paddling. And I have my 8-foot light St. Croix rod, 1000 series Supreme Fluger reel, and I'm trolling, and just watch what happens, folks. Tank crappie, oh my god, holy shit. That is a tank crappie. And as you can see here, folks, this is a indeed tank crappie, biggest crappie I've caught this year, and man was it a doozy. A stud. Oh my god, that thing is so big. Holy cow, look at that crappie. Damn. Let's see how many inches he is. Today's fucking every bit of 13.5 going in the bag. And in the bag he went to join me for a feast later that day. So then I started just kind of casting around crappie magnet jig, seeing what we can do. Just throwing it around, seeing what we could make happen. And I have reason to believe it was a gnarly pike that broke me off. Just an absolute clear slice through the line. So back to the old slip bobber, back to about the 7-foot range, tossing out there, hoping anything is out there willing to bite. Something that's hungry, that needs to eat, and I'm just letting it sit. Letting it sit there right above that weed line, giving it some twitches here and there, hoping that something sees it and thinks that a free meal is available. I cannot stress this enough. When you're doing this, the key is patience. You need to be patient and wait for the bite to come to you. The saying is, you can fish too fast, but you can't fish too slow. So go as slow as you possibly can, and those fish will find you. Give them time to find you. That is so important that people I see on YouTube, they don't do it enough. You have to work slow. That is how you get the fish to come to you. If you move too fast, they get afraid. They don't know what it is. It's not a natural movement in the water. And they just simply don't bite. I can't stress it enough, guys. Not a huge one by any means, but the crappie magnet does strike again. Constantly catching those crappie guys. So it was a pretty quick session, you know, got to see a beautiful sunrise, caught a nice bass, caught a really nice crappie, two of my bigger ones of the year so far. So there's no complaints from me. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I don't know what you're waiting for. We're just catching fish. Join me on these epic adventures. We just love to catch fish, man. That's all we're doing. So I do want to appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. Really, really, really appreciate it. And you guys have yourself a splendid day. We'll see you next time. Later.